Hi everyone. Welcome to your 6-minute webinar where I'm going to share with you 3 keys to monetize your podcast from both sides of the mic. How would you feel if you could find your perfect clients from every single podcast interview you do, even if you are the interviewee or if you have your own podcast? It would feel pretty awesome, right? We would all love to make money using our expertise, but it's hard and it requires so much work. Lots of work. I bet you buy expensive courses from all the gurus. You get all kinds of training that you never even look at or finish, and you hire expensive coaches and courses. Does this sound familiar? I thought so. That was me. I remember 5 years ago, I had already done 150 podcast interviews, and I was trying to monetize my podcast by offering my publicity services. I'd get a few clients here and there, but I was actually at my wit's end. I was at the point where I was going to have to go get a job. And I don't know about you, but if you've been an entrepreneur or you've had the freedom of not having to go to a job every single day, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I was frustrated, I was angry, I was hopeless. Has this ever happened to you? So I want to share with you a secret that I unexpectedly found one day in my frustrations about how to monetize all of my podcasting. So in the next few minutes, my promise to you is that I'm going to share 3 keys or more. I have a tendency to over-deliver, and help you to see if podcasting is something that you could do and monetize from either side of the microphone. Meaning, you could be an interviewee and share your expertise, or you can have your own podcast. How does that sound? Does that sound good? So what I want to tell you right now is I'm Tami Patzer, and I am the creator of Women Innovators Radio, which is on the Business Innovators Network. And I help women get interviewed and be interviewed so that they can use podcasting for more influence, more impact, and of course, the big one, more income. So, like I said, I stumbled, or let's just say I screamed my way into finding this monetization strategy that I'm going to share with you. And it was all out of that frustration. So what happened is, I know that many people, they don't want to pay to be on podcasts. They think that every podcaster should just invite them onto their show and then they benefit from all of the hard work of that show host. But what I discovered was that people would buy a book and also be on my podcast. So let me tell you exactly what happened. So there I was, I'd interviewed 150 people. And again, I was having some luck with having them become my clients and customers for my publicity services. But one day I was so frustrated that I just said, God, give me the answer. I need help. And about a day later, I woke up and I had this idea. I was going to write a book called Women Innovators, Leaders, Makers, and Givers, Women Who Make a Daily Difference. And I put that out on Facebook and I said, I'm writing a book. Do you want to be in it? And at the time, I really didn't know anything more than that, but people started to say yes, yes, yes. So I sent them the information about how they could be interviewed and be in one of my Women Innovators books. At the time, I thought I was just going to write one book. But from Saturday morning until Sunday night, 64 women raised their hand and said yes and started sending me money. And all of a sudden, not only did I have one Women Innovators book, I ended up with 8 Women Innovators books and a Self-Made Woman and a Big Message, Big Mission book, all from that one idea. And all of a sudden, I understood I could flip the switch, and instead of saying, be on my podcast and would you like me to publicize that for you for a fee, I found out people would actually buy to my book and that they wanted to be in my book and that I could interview them on my podcast for marketing. And that's how Women Innovators became. And now I've interviewed more than 500 people, and I have flipped that script, I guess you can say, on how to monetize. So that's just one way that I wanted to share with you. So it's really something that I wanted to tell you about. And I also wanted to tell you about how could you either structure your podcast interviews so that they would always repel or attract your ideal clients. And this is really important because, as you know, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. That's an adage that we learn in basic marketing. And we also know that we don't want to attract people who are not our ideal clients because they won't do business with us. And so we want to attract the people who will do business with us. And what I've been working on is, it's called the 6-minute webinar, and I've been working with the creators of that, and it's all scientifically proven. And what I really like about this framework, and I'll share, there's actually 12 steps to it on the framework of how to create the perfect podcast. And for these people, they talk about it being the perfect webinar, but for me, it's the perfect podcast interview. So put on your hat, am I the interviewee? So let's say that you want to be interviewed. So if you're trying to get the attention of your ideal client, number one, you have to have a short introduction, and then you want to future pace, have them feel that you're going to be able to solve their problem. Then you need to present the problem to them and answer that so that they can connect with the pain of the problem that they're having. And then, of course, your struggle story. And the biggest mistake people make on their struggle story is that they tell too much or spend too much time on it. And then you want people to connect to that struggle. And then the secrets are what you know now that you'll share with them. And then, of course, you make a promise. You're promising that I'm going to give you some really good, tangible, actionable information that will help you, because it's all about the transformation that you provide for people. And then, of course, your solution story, the 3 keys or steps, your simple process that you use to solve a problem, a client success story, then, of course, whatever your offer value stack is, and then a call to action. So I literally just shared with you these 12-step framework that you could create as a podcast host when you structure your questions to ask each and every guest, and as a podcast guest, the questions that you would present to your show host that you would like asked, so that you can be highlighted in the best possible way. So I think that for me, being someone who can work on both sides of the microphone is something that each of you should think about as you're trying to develop ways to market yourself. So I think that we really want to make sure that you have that. So here's what we're going to do, and I have a half an hour, so we're about 10 minutes in, and I have a few questions, and so this is a question that I'd like to ask is, do you want to be a podcast guest? And if you do, just answer yes or no, or if you're thinking about it or something else, go ahead and write into the comments, because I'll see these in a replay also. So no matter when you're watching this, do let me know what you think. If you want to be a podcast guest, and then I'd like to know, do you use podcasting or other online events to grow your business? Because if you're not, you should be, because this is really important. So think about that. And then I also want to know about monetization. Do you think that you can monetize your podcast like I did by turning it into a book, for example? And there are many other ways to monetize your podcast, but that was my big aha moment there, and it's been good for other people. And do you want more live training on podcasting from both sides of the mic? Because I have many opportunities through my Women Innovators radio show, the Business Innovators Network, and other shows that I produce or host for you to take that opportunity. So I just wanted to let you know that. So again, I gave you the 12 steps of the framework so that you can think about how you could structure your questions. So here's what we want to do. So when we create a show or an interview, we want to create a podcast marketing plan. We want to be able to implement the plan, and we want to grow our authority for impact, influence, and income. And when you have all 3 of these keys put together, you're going to just explode your authority. It is something that it's just phenomenal, because you can grow your authority, your celebrity, your credibility, and it will really help you to attract those ideal clients that you're looking for. So I wanted to tell you about one of my clients. Her name is Victoria. And Victoria is a financial advisor, and I worked with her, and she actually started her own podcast, and she told me that when she started her own podcast and actually turned it into a book, she actually got bombarded with calls, people wanting to make appointments with her, people coming to her, and she grew her business even during the 2020 pandemic. Her business still thrived despite the fact that we were in lockdown, because of course podcasting, you can do it anywhere in the world, and you can be anywhere and do interviews using your computer, just like here we're doing a Facebook Live. So that was Victoria, and I have many other people. Linda, she actually started her own podcast show, and she's written several books, and she's still going strong with her podcast. It's been on the air now for about 2 years, and she, of course, is attracting her ideal clients to her. So podcasting can really be something that will really help you to attract the clients that you're looking for. So I just want you to know that right now in the box, I have some giveaways that I really want you to think about getting. One of them is you can talk to me and we'll do a Monetize Your Podcast call, and we'll actually go and figure out exactly what you could be doing with podcasts on both sides or either side of the microphone, help you see how you might implement that and how it will help you grow both online and offline. Podcasting is not just for the online world. It can actually grow your business out in what I call the real world, as well as the online world. So pick up that option. Go ahead and make an appointment with me, and we'll have that call. And then you can pick up the 30 questions to ask and answer. There's a link in the box, and you can actually use that to help you to develop some of these questions. And definitely, if you missed the 12 steps that I talked about, go ahead and re-listen to this. And if you want, just ask, and I'll send you those. But that's something that we could talk about in our time together. So I just wanted to say thank you again. You can stand out, get authority, get impact, influence, income, and you can monetize your podcasts from both sides of the mic. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and take a look and see if there are any questions. This is my very first time. And of course, I am a Standout Online member, and my post has been approved by the admins. And I really hope that you got some solid information from this time that we had together. And I'll be back and try to share more really succinct and concrete tips for you, because podcasting can be a big part of your marketing. So again, make sure to get the free 30 questions to ask and or answer, and that will really help you. And do take a look at all the questions in the poll. Do you want to be a podcast guest? Do you want to use podcasting and online events to grow your business? Do you think you can monetize your podcast interviews? And do you want more live training? So let's go ahead, and I will go ahead and close for now. Thank you so much for showing up today, and do make comments in the comment boxes and reach out to me, and I'd be happy to help you monetize your podcast from either side of the mic or both sides. Again, this is Dr. Tami Patzer. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.